Alright, so this is the water or the spa or pool heater, the Pentair Minimax Plus 400. And we had the following problem, that if we wanted to turn the heater on to heat up the water in the spa, it wouldn't turn on. If you look at up close here. So I'm not going to turn it on because it's not going to work anyway. And then when you actually turn the switch to spa or pool, which is both on, you could actually hear the ignition, but there was no light off, I mean. So we got a mechanic out here, and he's looked at the system, and apparently the pilot light isn't working. So I ordered some stuff online, and because there's no YouTube video on how to replace this, I'm gonna make the video myself. Right, so to open this up is get a flathead screwdriver, open this up, lift it up a little bit, and it's out of the way. So I've already been working with this a little bit. There's two 10mm bolts over here. They're on tight, but I already loosened them up. And if you do that, you can actually move this thing around. Do the same thing on this side. So this little screw here, there's a head on this side, and of course also on the bottom. So loosen those up, and then if you pull this part out enough, you can actually pull the burner can out. Now this part, the ignition. Alright, so this part is attached to this metal clip that's soldered onto the, or welded onto this burner can. So when you take it out, it's obviously still attached. Now what usually is the deal is it's attached with a screw, and if it's still in good shape, you can just unscrew it. With me, it wasn't in a good shape, it was totally stripped. So what I did is I just let this part left it on the can, but this part of the tube is attached to the gas valve. And that's actually also broken, but the reason for that is the gas tube is in this little screw, and this screw is turned into the gas valve. Now the screw is supposed to be able to turn independently of the tube, but it didn't, so I just released it, and when I did that, it actually torted the tube until it broke. So then this part was loose. Then you can take out the burner can like I told you, so pull here and then push the burner can in a little bit, pull a little further out, and then you can release it all the way. And then this part is attached, and I just wiggled it around until the screw came loose. I bought a new one at a plumbing store, just compared the two, made sure the tube was the same width as the hole in this little screw. So you want to get that. You want to get a new pilot element. This actually includes the electrical ignition itself and the gas supply on the right side. Now there's two types for this heater. One is the millivolt and one is the electronic. And this is the electronic, and you can tell the difference by this piece actually. So for a millivolt, it's attached to the front red button, which actually is manually initiated ignition. And then this type is attached to the panel back here, and that's an electronic ignition. The igniter is actually attached with a clip, which you can push backwards with a screwdriver. And if you have this off, then this is totally loose like this. So that's how you can take that apart. Alright, so I bought that, and then bought this tube as well. These parts are around $50 to $60. This one as well, and then this screw should be about $3. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, even though this worked, I'm still gonna replace it because it's so rusty. So it hangs on the bottom side here, and there's some of these plastic clips. So you can take this out. Where it's tied into, you can just release it, open it like that, and then take the wire out. And then up here, should come loose just by pulling it out, wiggling it around a little bit. Again, should. There you go. So it's on that part where it says spark. And it doesn't really matter which way it's on, as long as it makes contact. And attach it in exactly the same manner as it was. Just put it on there. just route that wire through the little plastic thingies. And then this part is good to go. Right, so I need to get a screw. So the previous one was stripped. I just got a new one at Ace Hardware. Then that hole, those two holes line up. I just put a screw through it, and that should be good to go. First, I'm gonna put this burner can back in. And what you need to look for is this little notch actually goes into a slit at the end of the at the back of the heater. So make sure they line up, and then put this hole, put the exit of the gas tube in there. And then this should be able to move around like all the others. So just a little bit, but not be able to twist. And then it should be in a good order, good position. Alright, it's in the slit. So these screws over here don't go far enough out, so I need to loosen that up first to make this part come out further, because I can't get that can around it. Alright, so now this side is loose-ish. Awesome. What might happen is that one of the other cans falls out. Just put them back in and make sure they're back in simultaneously. Okay, I decided to do this. Put the tube in there as far as possible. And then just start the thread already. Alright, there it is. So don't tighten it yet, because you still want it to be able to turn to attach the tube to the gas valve. First, starting it with your fingers obviously easier. Alright, so that's on tight. I'm just grabbing a this thing is actually an 11-ish millimeter crescent wrench, but I only have 10 or 12. And actually 12 kind of works as well, so if you have the same problem as me, go for a 12. Right, and because it's upside down, think about which way you're going to turn it, of course. Alright, that's some good. Then we're going to get this thing over here. We'll close the control panel as well. Right, so that's good. Then so grab this thing, kind of deal with it the same way as we did on the bottom one. Right, so it probably needs to be bent a little bit, but that's fine. Obviously the part that's going to bend is the tube and not the valve. Alright, so that's down all the way, and then here it's going to be to the right, or clockwise, some people like to call it. There's going to be a certain point at which it's not going to work, which is right now. So the good option, or the good solution, is to actually get the correct size. I'm just going to use this. So make sure that's nice and tight, and I don't think this is yet, but I'll make sure it is, and then I'll keep filming afterwards. Alright, so this is on a relatively tight. If I move it up and down, it's stuck. The bottom is tight. Move it up and down, it's stuck. You want this wire to not touch the actual burner can, which is back there. It's alright, I think, if it touches this part. So I'll just leave it there. And this is not going to get hot either. Alright, so obviously before I started this, I turned all the gas valves off. which is one of them is here, so that's on now. And my gas supply over there, I need to turn that on and we'll see if it works then. Oh yeah, and don't forget to put these screws in there again over here and push the thing all the way back, the actual gas supply line. I'm gonna do that right now. Right, so just to test it, you need to turn the pump on so it actually has pressure in a bit, and then when you hit spa or pull, see the flame or the spark followed by a flame, and then there the burner can is light, and it's on.